Hey everyone, it's Erin Flota here, and I am here filming a 10 types video. If you guys are not familiar with this series, I do a lot of these types of videos where I go through different types of trackers to give you guys some inspiration in terms of trackers that you can add and things that you can do to adjust to whatever times you're in. So last month, actually probably February, I did my last 10 types video, which was this 10 types of self-care trackers. And I've done a few others like 10 types of meal tracking and planning and fitness trackers and all sorts of things. So I will go ahead and link over there the different type or the different playlists so that you can check out all those videos. This week, I thought it would be, fitting, I guess, to do a 10 types of routine trackers. I understand that in this day and time, if you are watching this in the future, we are currently in the midst of COVID-19. So a lot of us are adapting to a different reality than we're used to. And some of that may be impacting your different types of routines. And so it might be fitting to take a look at different types of routine trackers so that you can make adjustments based on your current life. And then, maybe when things get normal again, we can go back to that type of situation, but I thought it would be nice to show 10 types of routine trackers for you today. So the first one I'm sure you have seen all over the internet. I wanted to make sure I included this because I think there's a lot of different ways you can alter this a little bit, and that's your ideal schedule. So you'll see that a lot of people do that either with a single line across or a single line down. For space conservation, I decided to do two different lines, one from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then another from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then it's split up into half an hour increments. So you can obviously adjust this based on whatever your life is. If you work night schedules like my husband does sometimes, maybe you would want to switch this out for 6 p.m. to 9 a.m. You never know. So you can fit this to your schedule as well. I know that a lot of doctors that do like 15 minute appointments or therapy sessions may want to include 15-minute increments versus 30-minute increments. And so again, this is why I love the bullet journal, is because you can make it whatever you want. I thought that it would be nice to include this because this ideal schedule may have changed if you are doing something like work from home, or if you're an essential worker and just doing a lot of different types of things now. I know that they talked about this at my work. If your job has changed because of other coworkers that have gotten sick or something to that effect, you may want to alter your schedule to reflect your new life. So I just made this really quick one. It includes like a morning routine. This is kind of what I typically do, is like check emails, do my to-do list, and have coffee. That's usually around 7 in the morning. Sometimes I check my emails when I start work at 6, but sometimes I like kind of get used to my day before I go into my email. Work on SharePoint tasks and workflows. Take Malia for a walk around this time because otherwise she starts killing her brothers. And by killing, I mean massaging their heads with her tongue and trying to get them to play with her. Attending meetings, for me, doing an Instagram post while I'm making and eating lunch, checking emails part 2, more meetings or workflows or whatever, making dinner and eating with the family, watching TV shows, designing things for patrons, for stickers, things like that, and then working on orders at night, and then a nighttime routine. So making sure you're like altering this a little bit, especially if you're doing work from home, maybe things are a lot different, and trying to sort of establish what is your ideal day, knowing that that could change at any minute given what's going on. So the ideal schedule, and I like the idea of that because this is what would happen if everything went perfectly. But knowing what's going on, things don't always go perfectly, but at least you have some sort of framework that you can try to work off of, because if you're just trying to fly by the seat of your pants, it may be a lot more difficult to get things done, especially if you have multiple people in your home. If your kids are home, if your husband's home, your wife is home, your partner, anything like that, maybe it's a little bit more difficult. So talking over an ideal schedule, and then making like little alterations to that to make sure you're fitting in with everyone else, that might be best. So here is another type of routine tracker. It's just establishing a routine. So this is what I do in the morning when I say my morning routine or my nighttime routine. You have a spot for morning and evening. This may be completely switched for someone that works a night schedule, but again, it's something that you can continually reference. And for me at this point in time, I don't need to tick those types of things off. Some things I still do tick off on my habit tracker, such as brushing my teeth or flossing and washing my face, things like that. But I don't, and like taking my prescription, but I don't need to put feed animals. Oh, they let me know that they want to be fed. So I don't typically need to do that, but it's nice to see it in an actual tracker. And if you wanted to include this in your daily schedule, that's something that you can do, and you have a reference point for that in a routine tracker. The third version is doing the same thing but as a circle tracker. So I took one of the habit trackers that I put in my shop and I just cut it up so it has 24 segments, and I created the same type of timeline just as a circle, because for me, I don't typically like these types of like really boxy things. I like to do a lot of circle trackers, so getting to cut that up and have kind of a little bit more of a flow would be nice. And so I started at 6 a.m. because that's when I start my day. I wake up at 5:45 in the morning. And I left this part down here for bedtime. So you can start from 1 a.m. if you would like and just color in this part and this part for your sleep schedule, or whatever your schedule may be. But this gives you a little bit more flexibility. This is really easy to make. If you have like a circle tracker, I use a Moxie Dory tracker. And then I make these stickers that I sell in my shop as well. The next one is a school schedule. So again, I used some stickers from my shop. I used this sheet of, I think this is the basics school sheet in my shop. And then I also have a STEM one that like goes a little bit more into depth with like the math and sciences and things like that. So I just did a basics one, and establishing somewhat of a school schedule if you are now homeschooling your kids. So I did 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. English, because trying to get them to do math or science in the morning, I mean, I know that wasn't my favorite thing to do in the morning, so I imagine that's not as easy to start your day. So maybe doing 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. English and then switching over to math. And I built in breaks in here for different things like snacking, and if they have Zoom meetings with their teachers, or if there is like an hour break that they can watch an educational video or something like that. I know there's tons and tons of things online right now that you can also do aside from like their regular schoolwork, that they can like keep themselves a little bit more entertained. Science and history. I just made this up. It's been a while since I've been in school, and I don't have school-age children. I don't have children. So take this type of schedule with a grain of salt. I know that a lot of people are putting out, like school districts and things are putting out recommended schedules. So maybe putting some sort of reference to that in your bullet journal might be really nice. And then ending the day with some sort of homework. The next one I wanted to do is varying it up a little bit. You may not necessarily need a routine for something like work or your entire day, but maybe a yoga routine. This one specifically I found online for like back pain, which I'll go ahead and include some of the links down below for that. So I would have started to draw these, but then that seemed hard, so I did not. But maybe like doing a little drawing or a sticker of what each of those type of yoga positions entails. So doing cat cow, which is like a movement of a yoga pose. You don't stick in one pose. You do like 30 seconds cat and then 30 seconds cow, and you switch back and forth between those. Doing bird dog and switching, child's pose, downward dog, pigeon, seated twist, knee to chest, both knees to chest, bridge, and plow. So this one is specifically for back pain. I thought that this would be nice. I typically have a lot of back pain, so I like to do things like this throughout the day. So having some sort of reference point to a yoga routine might be nice. If you find that this becomes static, you can change that routine or target certain areas. Like this is for back pain, you can target neck pain and things like that as well. So the sixth one I have is morning affirmations. This is not something that I do in my life, but I thought it would be nice to include this because it can be part of a morning routine, and because morning affirmations may be totally different now than what they used to be. So I found this one online, which again, I will have up on the screen here because of course I didn't write anything for morning affirmations on here. So this one says, I will be present in every moment. Today I will learn and grow. I have the power to change my story. I will be a magnet for ideas today. Blah, 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 blah. Again, this is not really my cup of tea, but it might be other people's cup of tea. But morning affirmations may be different and something that you want to write in your notebook because of the state of the world right now. Maybe your morning route or your morning affirmation changes to something like, I will forgive myself for not going to the grocery store today because I'm looking out for my health. I will try to make the best out of this Zoom call that may get splashed with some porn because that's been happening in the world. Yeah, people are terrible. Anyways, so one of these says like, I will acknowledge my own self-worth. Maybe you say something to the effect of, I will make myself worth as much as I can today. You know, giving yourself a little bit of leeway in these morning affirmations, just because I will allow myself to feel today, because you can't just keep things bottled up or something like that. So maybe changing your morning affirmations that aren't these like super go-getter ones, but maybe that's more accepting of the changes in your life. Or maybe you need those types of morning affirmations. I will believe in myself and my abilities. I will be true to myself and my values. Maybe you need those types of things to keep some sort of consistency in your life. By all means, go ahead. But I just thought it would be nice to include something like that where it might be a little bit different and you might need to give yourself a little bit of grace to not be such a go-getter and not have all these affirmations that are like hustle, hustle, hustle. So that's one of the things I just wanted to kind of acknowledge. The seventh one I have here is a sleep routine. And so this is one that is specifically not maybe necessarily a nighttime routine, but is something that will help you sleep better and have practices that will make you sleep better. One of these I have is dump my phone in my office 1 hour before I sleep. So this is what people talk about, not having your phone right on your nightstand, but maybe putting it in a separate room. It might help you sleep a little bit better because you're not continually trying to reference your phone or reach for your phone, trying to get a little bit away from your technology before you go to sleep. Drink tea before bed, not like tea with caffeine, but maybe like a chamomile tea or something like that. Maybe getting some sort of relaxing tea in before bed to help you mentally prepare for going to bed. 15 minutes of yoga. This particularly helps me. My muscles really cramp up at night. So doing some sort of yoga right before I go to sleep helps the muscles work a little bit so that they're tired going to sleep. Turning on a nighttime show or movie, this in particular is something that is really important for my husband. He cannot go to sleep if he doesn't have the TV on, but he falls asleep right away. He doesn't like get into a movie or anything. He'll fall asleep within 5 minutes of it getting turned on. So turning on that nighttime show, and then I turn it off once I figure out that he's asleep, and I start to read a book. This read a book is from a sticker sheet that is available in my shop. This is the book club version, but it's similar to this, but says read a book. And the color just so happened to be perfect with this. So I thought it would be nice. I, in particular, read a book before going to bed. That is part of my better sleep nighttime routine. And then waking up, which is still kind of part of your sleeping routine, is don't hit snooze on the alarm. This is something that bothers me about my husband so much. He hits snooze like 5 times, but I wake up from his first alarm. So for me in particular, it's not hitting snooze and getting right up. And then I put this because there was a little bit of room left, and sometimes you need a better type of wake up call than just your alarm. And for me, that is getting puppy cuddles and kisses. Malia is very affectionate in the morning, mostly because she wants to go out and she wants me to start my day so that she can start hers. But getting those puppy cuddles and kisses in the morning is a great part of my sleep routine because I'm still basically half awake when that is happening. So the 8th one, I wanted to give one that was more task oriented and that you could like fill out rather than a reference point. So this is part of a weekly routine, and I only put Monday through Friday because that's probably like if you have different routines for your weekdays versus weekends, or maybe your weekends are different because you work on the weekends instead of on the weekdays. I don't know your schedules, but having some sort of task list to mark off for your morning routines or evening routines, and then having a section for other tasks here. I know that a lot of people like to do this because they kind of feed off of easy tasks to go ahead and mark off. And this might be one of the, hi, Mason. So that might be one of those things that can help you mark a lot of tasks off really early in the morning and get you motivated to start your day doing some sort of morning and evening routines within your weekly setup. And now I'm going to go back to the self-care ones for items 9 and 10 because I recognize this is a self-care tracker, but it's also kind of your routine as well. So the 9th one for this one, but 6th one for this one is a daily schedule. So having a daily schedule on the side and then having your task list, but having your routine that you schedule out for the day on your actual daily schedule. If you are a daily user versus a weekly user for the bullet journaling system, having that kind of daily schedule may be a really good way to incorporate your different types of routines. So having your morning routine in here, having your specific meetings so that you can schedule out blocks of time in your daily schedule is a really, really good way of incorporating routines while also doing block scheduling. I really do enjoy block scheduling. I use that on my work computer a lot because how our system is set up, you schedule your meetings within Outlook. So I can block off periods of time so that people can't try to schedule meetings with me during those times. And I can specifically try to work on an inspection report from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then they know that I'm free from 9 to 10 or something like that. So trying to block off periods of time and creating a routine by doing that in your calendar. And then the last one for my routine tracker, but the 7th one for my self-care tracker is doing some sort of skincare routine or doing curly girl method or some other type of routine that you want to establish. So this can be done on a monthly basis if you're having your days over on here and you have a routine and you mark it off for the day. Hopefully you're getting to all of your routines, but again, working from home, maybe maybe makeup is not necessarily part of your routine. I know it's not for me. I don't show my face on my meetings enough for makeup to actually happen. I just don't want to. Maybe you alter this for just skincare like I have, but maybe you are someone that is constantly on calls and you need that extra bit of motivation to do makeup while you're working from home or something like that. And doing a tracker for that type of doing skincare and makeup routine might be helpful for that. So I just want to thank you guys. I am trying my best to do live videos while also trying to produce content. So please let me know if there's any particular videos or 10 types of videos that you want me to do. I will go ahead and do that. I'm going to be doing Instagram Live next week so that I can try to work in some more of my regularly scheduled videos. But I appreciate everyone that's been showing up to my lives. It's really nice to spend 30 minutes decompressing with people while I'm trying to plan out my day. So I have really, really enjoyed that. So if you like this video, please like on the actual video so that it helps me with YouTube. If you like my channel and the types of content that I produce, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when I'm posting, because a lot of my posts are not normal right now. So hitting that notification bell will let you know when I'm going live and doing all sorts of things on this channel. So thank you to my patrons who are on this list for always supporting me. You guys are the best. I really appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you later today for our Patreon Live. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.